Hello, we are the Ministry of the Real Truth, and here is a useful follow-up, i.e. a reference for all to look at, that backs up the book Jesus in the Talmud by Bernard Pick, and all that it has claimed or stated within it, contained within it. In our prior video, titled Jesus Blasphemed by the Rabbis, Not the Talmud. And it's titled Jesus Christ in the Talmud Midrash Zohar and the Liturgy of the Synagogue. And we found this in the public domain, public access. So no copyright infringement was intentional. And we bring it to all for educational purposes alone. Jesus Christ in the Talmud Midrash Zohar and the Liturgy of the Synagogue. Text and translations by the Reverend Dr. Gustav Dahlmann, lecturer of the University of Leipzig, it'll be in Germany, director of the Institutum Judaicum Delectianum, together with an introductory essay by Heinrich Laibel, master in the High School of Rothenburg on Tauber, translated and edited by Reverend A. W. Streen, B.D., Fellow in Divinity and Hebrew lecturer, Corpus Christi College, and formerly Taifat's Hebrew scholar. And this looks like it might have been published, or this is a publishing company that was put together in 1893. Preface. The attractive subject of her Libel's recently published at this period in time, essay, Jesus Christus im Talmud, led the author to think, or this particular writer, to think that the passages on which he bases his work and the comments which he makes upon them cannot be without interest for the English reader, even though the conclusions which he reaches may not on all occasions appear entitled to equally full assent. On this person's suggestion, or suggesting this to Dr. Hermann L. Strack of Berlin, at whose suggestion, as will be seen from the preface to the German edition, Herr Laibel undertook the task. This person received permission to make use of a large number of spare printed copies of the original text, numbers 1 to 24, pages 5 to 19, which had been edited by Dr. Gustav H. Dahlmann of Leipzig, in order to secure in each case the best available unexpurgated text. The following editions were used by him. 1. Palestinian Talmud, Venice 1523-4. 2. Babylonian Talmud, Venice, Brachhof, Shabbath, Sota, and he lists quite a lot there. The Karlsruhe manuscript for the treatise not dealt with by Rabinovsk in Jacob, Venice 1546, was specially used. 3. Tosefta, Zuckermandel Pessovolk 1880. For the present edition, Dr. Dahlmann has also supplied a translation, see pages 29 to 40, of the above mentioned original text, so far as they do not already appear in Herr Laibel's essay, and further he has now collected from unexpurgated manuscripts of Jewish liturgies numerous interesting extracts relating to the same subject, pages 21 to 28, and followed by an English translation, pages 40 to 47. Hereby, as well as by the introduction of other is that supposed to be like material? Contributed by Dr. Dahlmann and Herr Laibel, however you say that, and incorporated by this person with the body of the essay, or appended in the form of footnotes, the value of this edition of the work is much enhanced. It has been this writer's aim throughout to render the German as closely as regard for English idiom would permit. At the same time, he ventured to deviate from this rule, in dealing with the earlier pages of the essay, which appear to him to be capable with advantage of some condensation for the English reader, and B, very occasionally in modifying expressions used by the Talmud in reference to our blessed Lord, or Jesus. It may perhaps be considered that the author or the writer had not gone quite far enough in this latter respect. Words inserted between square brackets in the text are to be understood in all cases as here Leibles. I mean, it's German, it just means Mr. It's a title, rather like Senor for a Mr. in Spanish. On the other hand, in all notes for which he is not responsible bear the initials of the writers. In conclusion, this writer has had to express his grateful thanks, etc., etc., for reading the proof sheets of this work and for many valuable suggestions. AWS. Preface. The attractive subject of Herr Leible's recently published essay, Jesus Christus, Talmud, led him to think that the passages on which he bases his work and the comments which he makes upon them cannot be without interest for the English reader, even though the conclusions which he reaches may not on all occasions appear entitled to equally full assert. Sure, he just wrote that. He just put that. Let's go back here. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's two prefaces. It's got two prefaces in there. Okay, let's turn this page and see if it's exactly the same. Yeah, somebody's inserted two prefaces in there. Simple mistake. This will be the introduction with the contents page. Inhalt selber Sicht. It's all in the German here, by the looks of it. Ben Starter, Ben Pandera, Paphos, Ben Jehuda, Mirjam, die Frauenhaarflechterin. Okay, so that'll be all in German. And here's the Hebrew, by the looks of it. Okay. And it carries on like that for quite a lot of the book. So you're going to jump past all of that if you're a well-versed Hebrew reader and you can fully understand it, what that all says, or you can have a look at it at your own pace, in your own time. We will put the link to this below this video so you can do that. But we, not being proficient in the Hebrew language and not claiming to be, are going to go through a time warp and try to get to the English translation of all of that. Translations of the foregoing texts, or these ones that were prior. Okay, 1. Ben Starter, Ben Pandera, Paphos, Ben Jehuda, Mirjam, the woman's hairdresser. A. Shabbat 104b for translation, see label paragraph 46 and 8. B. Sanhedrin 67a. And for all capital criminals who are mentioned in the law, they do not lay an ambush, but they do this for this criminal. So you're talking about one specific person, right? How do they act towards him? They light the lamp for him in the innermost part of the house, and they place witnesses for him in the exterior part of the house, that they may see him and hear his voice, though he cannot see them. And that man says to him, "Tell me what you have told me when we were alone." And when he repeats those words to him, that man says to him, "How can we abandon our God in heaven and practice idolatry?" If he returns, it is well. But when he says, "Such is our duty, and so we like to have it," then the witnesses who are listening without bring him to the tribunal and stone him. And thus they have done to the son of Stada at Lud, and they hanged him on the day before Passover. So they were referring to, these rabbis, etc., were referring to Jesus as the son of Stada, a nickname apparently for a woman hairdresser named Mary, who was separate from her husband, who betrothed. He left her, and he used to lock her in there, and apparently she slept with his friend, or somebody like that, a guy called Pandera or Pantera, and had this illegitimate child born out of wedlock, supposedly Jesus. For the rest, see the translation of Shabbat 104b. Caricature of whatever that is in the Greek. It's the EV that we talked about in a prior video. Shabbat 116a, see Laib, page 13. Rabbi Meir, Munich manuscript, has this in the Hebrew. below. He calls it Awen Gilajon, blank paper, literally margin of evil. Rabbi Jokhanan calls it Awen Gilajon, blank paper of sin. This is the Hebrew here. Is margin paper which is left unwritten and therefore blank. The rabbis seem to have thought it remarkable that the name of the Ev did not indicate a book, but an unwritten page. Note, these words do not stand in the Talmud in their proper place, but are a gloss to the words in Hebrew on the same page, 18 lines from the bottom. 3. The wife of Pappos ben Jehuda, or Yehuda. Gittin 90a. For translation of the first part, see Labely, page 26. And there is another who, when a fly falls into his tumbler, throws it out and drinks it. Pulls out the fly and then drinks it. And this is the way of men generally. When she is speaking with your brothers and relatives, he does not hinder her. But there is also the man who, when a fly falls into a dish, sucks it, the fly, out and eats it, the dish. He gets that fly out and he eats the dish. He goes on eating the dish. This is the manner of a bad man who sees his wife going out bareheaded and spinning in the street and wearing clothes, sit up on both sides and bathing together with men. For translation of the words of Rashi, see Lebel, this guy here, page 27. 4. A legend of Mary and a proverb. A. Chagiga 4b. When Rab Joseph came to this verse, Proverbs 23:23, but there is that is destroyed without judgment, and he wept. He said, is there really someone who is going away when it is not his time? Certainly, for so it has happened with Rab Bibi Bar Abai, the angel of death was found with him. For the rest of the translation, see Label, page 27, sequentially. Right? B. Tosafoth Chagiga 4b, after N. Jacob, edition Veen, 1546. Is it Hebrew there? The angel of death was found with him, who related what had happened to him long ago for the story as to Miriam, should be like another name for Miriam, the woman's hairdresser that took place in the time of the Second Temple, for she was the mother of Jesus, as it is related in Tritai Shabbath. C. Tosafloth Shabbath 104b, the son of Stada. Rabbeinu Tam says that this is not Jesus the Nazarene, for as to the son of Stada, we say here that he was in the days of Pappos ben Jehuda, who lived in the days of Rabbi Akiva, as is proved in the last chapter of Berachoth 61b. But Jesus lived in the days of Jehoshua ben Pirachja, as is proved in the last chapter of Sota 47a, and not like Rabbi Jehoshua ben Pirachja, who pushed away Jesus the Nazarene with both hands, and Rabbi Jehoshua was long before Rabbi Akiva. His mother was Miriam, the woman's hairdresser, and what is related in the first chapter of Chagiga 4b, Rab Bibi, the angel of death, was found with him, etc. He said to his messenger, go and fetch me Miriam, the woman's hairdresser. That means that there lived in the days of Rab Bibi a Miriam, a woman's hairdresser. It was another Miriam, or the angel of death, was also relating to Rab Bibi, a story which had happened a long time before. D. Sanhedrin 106a, after Edit Constant 1585. Is the Hebrew. And Balaam, the son of Beor, the soothsayer, Joshua 13:22. Soothsayer. What's soothsayer? It's got a question mark there. He was a prophet. Rabbi Jokhanan said at first a prophet, at last a soothsayer. Rab Papa said this is what people say. She was one of prominent men and princes, and then she prostituted herself for mere carpenters. 5. Miriam, daughter of Bilgah, Palestinian Sukkah 55d. See label page 20. Bilgah always receives his part on the south side on account of Miriam, daughter of Bilgah, who turned apostate and went to marry a soldier belonging to the government of the house of Javan, Greece, and went and beat upon the roof of the altar. She said to it, Wolf, wolf, thou hast destroyed the property of the Israelites, and didst not help them in the hour of their distress. 6. The document of Jerusalem. Jebamoth 49a, Mishnah 413. For translation, see Labeler, page 31. 7. The Confession of Mary. Kala 18b, 41c, Ed Ven 1528. See Labeler again, paragraph 33 sec. Maybe that's sequential or something. Not really sure what that is. This is 8. Jesus and Jehoshua ben Pirachah. A. Sanhedrin 107b. See Labour page 41. M. He's footnote here. M in margin. This is in the Hebrew. Rashi has also the reading in Hebrew. Yeah, look at that. We just covered that, and it turned into N3. It's weird. Maybe it's because Hebrew is made up of numbers and letters. And it's indicating something there. In that Hebrew, it's showing you that. That's kind of strange. B. Sota 47a. The text is substantially the same as Sanhedrin 107b. See label at page 41. Therefore, no special translation is necessary. See Palestinian Chachiga 70d. The inhabitants of Jerusalem intended to appoint Jehuda ben Tabai as Nasi, one is footnote indicator, president of Sanhedrin in Jerusalem. He fled and went away to Alexandria, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem wrote, From Jerusalem the Great to Alexandria the Small. How long lives my betrothed with you, whilst I am sitting grieved on account of him? When he withdrew to go in the ship, he said, Has Deborah, the landlady who has taken us in, been wanting in something? One of his disciples said, Rabbi, her eye was bright. For example, a euphemism for blind. He answered him, Lo, you have done two things. Firstly, you have rendered me suspected, and then you have looked upon her. What did I say? Beautiful in appearance. I did not say anything like this, but beautiful in deeds. And he was angry with him, and he went his way. 9. Jesus the sorcerer. According to A. Shabbath 104b, see number 1a. B. Tosefta Shabbath 11 or 12. Versus Finn, see label at page 46. C. Palestinian Shabbath 13d, see label again. He who scratches on the skin is the fashion. He who scratches on the skin in the fashion of writing is guilty, but he who makes marks on skin is the fashion of writing. In the fashion of writing is exempt from punishment. Rabbi Eliezer said in them, But has not the son of Stada brought magic spells from Egypt just in this way? They answered him, On account of one fool we do not ruin a multitude of reasonable men. 10. The testimony of Jesus as to himself. A. Palestinian Ta'anith 65b, see label page 50. B. Jalkut Shimoni on Numbers 23:7 under the name of Midrash Jilamednu. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, Proverbs 27:14. How strong was the voice of Balaam? Rabbi Jokhanan said it was heard 60 miles away, or 60 miles. Rabbi Jehoshua ben Levi said 17 nations heard the voice of Balaam. Rabbi Eleazar HaKapur says God gave strength to his voice, and he went up from one end of the world to the other, because he was looking about and seeing the nations adoring the sun and the moon and the stars and wood and stone. And he looked about and he saw that a man, son of a woman, will arise, who seeks to make himself God and to seduce all the world without exception. Therefore he gave strength to his voice, that all nations of the world might hear it. And thus he spake, Take heed that you go not astray after that man, as it is written. Numbers 23:19. God is not a man that he should lie, and if he says that he is God, he is a liar, and he will fall into error and say that he is going away and will come again at certain spaces of time. Then he hath said and will not do it. Look what is written. Numbers 24:23. And he took up his parable and said, Alas, who shall live when he makes himself God? Balaam intended to say, Alas, who shall live from that nation which gives ear to that man who makes himself God? C. Pesiqta Rabbati 100b. See level page 50 sequentially, or sequent, whatever that is. 11. Jesus an idolater? According to the Sanhedrin 103a. There shall no evil befall thee. Psalms. Is that 50, 60? 1, 10. That means that evil dreams and bad fantasies shall not vex thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy tent. That means that thou shalt not have a son or disciple who burns his food publicly, i.e., who announces openly what he has learned, like Jesus the Nazarene. Berakov 17, and so forth. Balaam Jesus. Yeah, what's this? A footnote indicator. Where's that one? Looking for that one. Let's make it bigger so you can see it. That's better. Okay, not too sure what it is, but it's got it here in the Hebrew, and it means from this one, to learn. And more of the Sanhedrin text. Ima Shalom, Rabban Gamliel and the philosopher. And some references there. And A. Palestinian Aboda Zara 40D, label 40, page 77, sequence, whatever. His grandson, the grandson of Jehoshua, ben Levi, had swallowed something. A man came and whispered to him a spell in the name of Jesus, son of Pandera, and he got well. When he went out, he, Jehoshua, ben Levi, asked him, What did you say over him? Read. And this is supposed to be in the Hebrew. He answered, according to the word of somebody. He said, what had been his fate had he died and not heard this word? And it happened to him as it were an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Ecclesiastes 10:5. So making comparison to those verses in the Old Testament and the New, or mainly the Old Testament. B. Koheleth Rabbah to Ecclesiastes 10:5. The son of Rabbi Joshua ben Levi had something in his throat. He went and fetched one of the men of the son of Pandera to bring out what he had swallowed. He, Jehoshua ben Levi, said to him, What didst thou say over him? He answered, a certain verse after a certain man. And there's a question mark there. He said, It has been better for him that he buried him, and not said over him that verse. And so it happened to him as it were an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Ecclesiastes 10:5. It's comparing that. And the condemnation of Jesus, according to the Sanhedrin and Palestinian Sanhedrin writings here, these texts. The Academy of the Son of Pandera. Jesus in hell. Is there, Ecclesiastes 12:12, then really written? Derision? At all events, it is true that he is punished by boiling filth, as we are saying in Ha Nizakin, chapter 5 of Treatise Gittin, file 56b. So there's a footnote indicated here. So let's go down the bottom here and see what that's about. 1. The Tosafot, meaning although it may not be allowed to derive this manner of punishment from the words in Ecclesiastes 12:12, as Eab Aka as Rab Aka Ba'ula does, Reuben 21b, it is nevertheless true. So they're saying that Jesus is boiling in the afterlife. He's punished by boiling filth. So he's basically in the poo. Up to his armpits or something like that.